What embarrassing secrets do you know about your exes? One of my exes fell for the Nigerian prince email spam. We were in college and ended up owing the bank $20,000. High school boyfriend. Every time he pooped, he would only wipe once, not look, and call it good. No b-day. Found out after 18 months of dating. Also one who would go to the bathroom after waking up every morning, hotbox weed while taking a shit, jerk off to porn on his phone while still on the toilet, then not wipe or flush and get into an as hot as he could stand shower. He would just let the water run over him and then loofah away the rest. There was an exhaust fan in the bathroom, but he never used it. Just poop, weed, and extremely high humidity in the air. He never finished when we had sex, and I'm pretty sure it was because he was conditioned to only orgasm while smelling his own shit in a tropical environment. There were so many reasons to not be with that guy, but this is the most disgusting one. He also only ate Taco Bell, frozen pizzas, and Doritos. So I was sitting in my living room on my phone, while he was in the bathroom going number 2, or trying to. He's in there for 15 minutes maybe, when I hear the door creak open slightly and my name being called very faintly. I go over concerned asking if he's alright, and he looks me dead in the eyes and asks, "Do you have a pad?" Now, I know this boy does not have the parts that typically need those, so I'm like, sure. Why? He told me was so constipated that he ended up bleeding back there, and it wouldn't stop. I'm trying not to laugh because what? But also that does sound alarming, so I give him the pad. I show him how to put it on and everything. I use the ones with wing flaps, so there were a few leg hair casualties. An hour or two goes by and he gets up to try again. He then calls me in to tell me he thinks it stopped, but asks if he should be worried about the amount of blood lost. He shows me the pad. Homebo left a quinoa-sized drop on the pad and asked me if he needed to go to urgent care. I'll never forget that day. My ex-husband went to the bathroom in the dark. He tried using a tube of hemorrhoid cream, but also on the bathroom counter was some green crackle Halloween makeup. Apparently, he really lathered it on. Told me in the morning and I almost died laughing. It was a joke for years. I should text him a reminder. He used to tell people he was in the military and sometimes used the word veteran. He was kicked out of boot camp for getting drunk while on some sort of duty. My ex did this but went one further and was never even at boot camp. Told all these horror stories about being in Afghanistan and having to shoot women and kids. The best part was his own mother outing him. He'd never even applied for the military. Absolute fucking loser. From back in high school, he used to jack off at the end of his bed onto his navy blue carpet. The carpet was bleached orange from years of it. I don't know why, but this one triggered a giggle fit. How did you find this out? Did you say, "Your carpet is stained"? And he replied with, "Oh, that's where I jack off." He's weird, full on weird. Wanted me to have sex with his son when he gets older. Edit. Oh yeah, when he was a teenager or a little younger to grope his stepmother's breasts. My ex had really bad external hemorrhoids. There were certain positions we would do for BJS and I would see full on the severity of them. No wonder he didn't like it when I poked his butt. They would almost touch my forehead. It looked like if you made a fist and tried to jam all your fingers through at one end to the over end, and you could see a good portion of your fingertips. I felt bad for him. He was to Navas to go to the doctor about it. He cheated on me with my sister. I hope the hemorrhoids got worse. My ex got high and cut his dick open, claiming something was inside of it. I had to take him to the eye at 4 a.m. because it wouldn't stop bleeding. That was fun to soberly explain to the doctor. He farted before we went for a shower and a tiny poop fell out and onto the bathroom mat. Actual story or received from his most recent ex. My ex-husband's last fiancée had a daughter and she lived in a different state. One night, she was crying because she missed her daughter and he proceeded to jack off. Right? Next. T.O. Her. My ex was bored one night at work and decided to take a print of his ass on the copy machine. He broke it. What he didn't know was that it was caught on camera. They fired him the next day. We were parents of a newborn. That his mum cuts his toenails for him. I was with this guy for 4 years. He used to dress up in my clothes, shorts, dresses, etc., wear my headband, then walk around the house talking out loud to someone imaginary, and there wasn't anyone home. I walked in on him one day, and I came home early from college. Another ex, after we broke up, had a thing for his sister. She was his type. They used to make out at night after their parents fell asleep. They did handsy stuff when everyone was around for fun. They eventually slept together and did so for 3 years until his sister started going to college. Yes, she was only 16 when he was 22. That he chatted up a 15-year-old on Snapchat when he was in his 30s. Showed me some of their chats and they were quite suggestive. No clue what happened there, but I reported him to the local police before leaving. He went out to the movies with his ex and her mom and dad. His ex gave him a hand job during the movie. He accidentally came on his ex's mother, who was sitting in the row in front of him. My ex was an alcoholic, and so he often would pee the bed while we slept. He never brushed his teeth. He would also pee in empty liquor bottles and store them in his dresser. He was so messy when drunk and did some embarrassing things. I would look through his phone to find he messaged girls constantly behind my back, but they rejected him. His routine turned into wake up, drink, pass out, repeat. I tried so many times to help him stay sober, but I couldn't do it anymore as the bottle came first. Unfortunately stayed for 5 years as it was my first relationship, but I am glad I got out. Yikes. He had only one pair of socks and wore them every day without washing them. He worked as a mechanic. I have no idea how he didn't have some kind of foot fungus or trench foot. He refuses to wash his socks except once a week because his roommate would steal them, supposedly. His feet, shoes and obviously socks reeked. This is a great idea for a thread. Tie up for these juicy secrets, added for contribution. Ex-BFF would only shower like once a week at most, which I always thought was disgusting because she would sleep around but not shower in between partners. Went with Planned Parenthood with her the morning following a hookup where the condom fell off. She decided to get an IUD. Plan B, she told me, and they were putting in the IUD, they found an old tampon in there. How she managed to have sex with a dude without ever noticing it was in there. My ex openly admitted to having a crush on my friend's 16 to 17-year-old cousin, and I caught him liking pics of her tagged with my friend on Facebook. My ex 26. It's so fucking creepy. He met the cousin at my 24th day and said, quote, she was the most attractive woman at the party, apart from me of course. He knew he age. That he likes to dress up as a cat while having sex. Recent ex. He's had a crush on his sister and probably still does. He couldn't stop comparing me to her, saying how she is hot. All the guys want her. She's the ideal mother figure for his future children. He says he's hot too and that everyone looks at him when he walks by. That I'm not that hot and I'm not what he envisions as the mother of his future children. First ex. He wants to live with his mom forever and slept in the same bed as her until age 16, even though he had his own room and bed. His dad would sleep elsewhere. He says she's the most beautiful woman in the world and calls her for any little issue he has, like if he has a stomachache while we're on vacation, even though I'm a nurse. He'll call her while we're having a nice dinner on vacation. His mom shops for all his clothes and he can't stay out past 9 p.m. despite being 23 years old at the time. He has to ask his mom for permission for anything, even to sleep over at my place. His mom knows how to drive, but once he turned 16, she decided to stop driving and make him drive her everywhere, including to 3 different grocery stores every Sunday and 2 hours away to go shopping. He and his mom go out all the time, leaving his dad at home. He's gay. He knew he was all of his life. He had an ex-wife when he met me. A couple of months into the relationship, I knew something was up. Also, knew he was attracted to his work buddy, a bisexual married to a woman. I told him that I needed the truth from him, and our connection was good enough that he fessed up. He was never bi but gay and knew since he was a teen. I was pretty sure that was the end of the relationship, but he asked me not to end it, but BC he was truly lonely. We certainly wasn't physical anymore. When the thing with the coworker took off with his wife's blessing, so did I. We were still friends, but it fizzled out as he started to live his truth. I was the only person beside coworker that knew though. This was over 20 years ago. Fast forward to 2018 and someone shared a clip of his cat. Featured in it was him, his wife and their toddler. That he comes underneath his blankets, sleep in them, and repeats every day until his mom washes his sheets. Found damn that high school boyfriend was so gross. I'm a lesbian. I couldn't figure out why her down below smelled so rancid that she could be fully clothed and it still smell her. I felt bad and assumed it was a medical issue. Turns out she didn't know she was supposed to wash there. She didn't even get close. I was wondering why she always smelled like period blood. I didn't learn this until we showered together. He didn't know he had to wash his ass every time he took a shower before he was around 18 yo. I had to teach him. He pick his nose very often and wipe on his hand. My last text hooked up a male coworker. Guess he was bi-curious. He would die if I ever told anyone, so I never have. Until now. LOL. Even though he cheated on me, I've kept his secret for 10 years. He confessed after we broke up he stole panties from random women in the laundromat at our apartment complex. My first boyfriend was strictly against butt stuff because it's gay, against smoking and drugs. Then suddenly, when we broke up, I left him. I found a butt plug and bomb while cleaning up my stuff from our apartment. Oh, and I heard he started smoking too. My more recent ex was obsessively washing himself, like he would take a long hot shower every time he went to toilet, and would wash his butt and colon all the way he could reach. He had super strong disgust towards shit. Ironic thing is, he had a huge ass fetish. He also liked to wear feminine clothes and apparel, and while masked in a convention he dressed up as a woman. We were almost same size, so he would borrow my things. Oh, and once when I was blowing him, doing this twirly thing with my tongue, he peed in my goddamn mouth. He apparently thought he was coming. And, on the hindsight, I probably should have taken that as a cue to throw him out. Could have saved myself so much trouble. My ex would never wash his jeans, his only pair of pants, or wear underwear. I don't know how long he didn't wash them for. We were around 16 to 18, but I was picking them up once and they were so brown and dirty from skid marks. They were basically just dirty shit color all inside. Kenny, you're fucking feral, mate, and I bet you still are. My ex wanted me to poop in his mouth. MEX experimented with a guy friend for 2 years as a young teen to figure out if he was gay or not. He claims he isn't. Here's another one. When he was 27, he met a 16-year-old and groomed her. On her 18th day, he asked her out. Poor girl is still with him 7 years later. She's 24 and he's 35 now. He never brushed his teeth as a kid, and all of his adult teeth are filed down like a horse's teeth. A different ex was absolutely obsessed with me. After we broke up, he joined the Navy, went to the Philippines, and had a kid with a woman solely because she looked like me. I'm not Filipino. Same ex has a pin-up tattoo of me. I think he cut it up himself when we broke up or something. He and his cousin, both male, were so horny that they decided to fuck each other in the arse. My ex used to steal my tampons to wear up his butt. Says it made him feel more connected to his feminist side. My ex, who was a hotshot commercial accountant, drove a fancy car and wore expensive suits, was still living at home and sleeping in his childhood twin bed. Also, his dad still did his laundry. Not an ex, but a guy I went out with for a few months. The reason he rode his bicycle to the bar during the winter was because he has at least one DUI, multiple tickets for driving without a license, and can't get it back because he won't do court-ordered therapy. He only told me after I background checked him. Previously, he said it was because he's trying to exercise more. He likes to wear diapers and he pees in them before he goes to sleep. It's not a secret, but it's embarrassing that he and his family are members of a cult. Thanks for watching. Share your stories in the comments.